Hey everybody, and welcome to summer school. Thanks for being here. We got a lot of ground to cover today and not a lot of time to do it. We're going to work our way through the worksheet called 120-120. 120-120 talks about playing pentatonic on the fiddle. Why do I say just pentatonic, not pentatonic scale? Well, pentatonic can do a lot of different things. You can play melody, you can play chords, you can play backup. So the pentatonic is very versatile, whether it's in its scale form, which usually means go straight up and then come back down, or just by virtue of being able to hear, so to speak, the pentatonic. So let's dive right in. First things first, we're going to talk about theory-based knowledge. So this is not instrument specific. This is just in terms of the music theory behind choosing a key and figuring out the pentatonic based on a key. So lots of times in jams or in a live music setting, you're going to hear what key are we in, and that denotes basically a major scale that then we can draw notes out and create a pentatonic scale with. So the difference between, the bugs. The difference between the major scale and the pentatonic scale is, for our purpose, the pentatonic scale is going to be groovy over almost all of the song, no matter the chord changes, because we're taking away notes that have more dissonance, that do exist in the major scale, but create other kinds of harmony. And we're going to remove those notes and just groove on notes that can easily create melodies, and etc. So first of all, we pick our key for today, which is D major. So that's going to be our root note. The root note is the most important knowledge to possess when you're in a live setting, because as soon as you discern the root and you're positive about the root, you can build the entire scale based around what pitch you're starting on. So in our case today, starting on D, and that's what we're going to number as scale degree number 1. Now, it's very important. The pitch is D. This note is open D, but when I make it up to here, that's also going to be a D pitch, and we're also going to call that scale degree 1. So that's going to come in handy to know. As we're counting on scale degrees, it goes from 1 up to 7 in the major scale, and then we'll repeat at 1. So let's jump off of that, actually, because I'm going to move through, let's see, it's called measure 3 on the worksheet. If you see me looking down, that's because I got my cheat sheet down there. So this is scale degree 1, and then here's scale degree 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We're not in the land of finger numbers yet. We're only in the land of scale degree, which is not instrument specific. So let's do an entire major scale and number the scale degrees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Good. Bonus points for singing, because you're just baking in all these different strata of information in your mind. You got what number am I singing? 1, 1. You got what pitch does that sound like in my mind and in my ear, and then nailing it down with the fingers on the fingerboard as well. All these things are going to combine in your mind to help you have a more concrete memorization of the pentatonic, or just a working knowledge. All right, let's move along. So let's see. Yeah, you heard me play the major scale. So that's consistent of whole steps and half steps. Most folks have heard of whole steps and half steps right now. That is the basis for a major scale. In the pentatonic scale, like I said, we're going to remove some of those notes. So the pentatonic scale actually has some skips in it, but those pitches are going to maintain the same scale degrees as they had in the major scale. So that's good to know. And now we're moving into the gray area here. We're going to change from talking about theoretical knowledge to practical fiddle knowledge. So let's go over the major scale one more time. Open is scale degree 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Okay, scale degrees. Check. Now, it's time to start looking at some niceties of the fiddle and why the thing is built the way it is to make our playing easier for us. For one critical example, let's observe the finger pattern of the major scale. Then we're going to dive into pentatonic land and start riffing. So, the major scale starts on an open string. Open. Then we go whole step, half step. Whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. And that tracks along with the theoretical pattern of the major scale, but the finger pattern is identical between both strings. We've got a pair of strings, and the finger pattern is exactly identical. That would be called this pattern right here, where we got a whole step in between middle finger and ring finger. So that's very neat. The fiddle is built to make easy finger patterns on pairs of strings to result in major keys, or even more applicable in our case, the pentatonic. All right, here we go. It's time for the fun part. We're going to dive into what riffs are available to us and what the pentatonic, what the pentatonic consists of all across the range of the fiddle. So, we're in the land of finger numbers. And here's why monikers such as 120, 120 are my favorite. Because if we know that the root pitch is here, but we know that there are other octaves that are available to us, like I said, those are one and the same pitch. Well, by extension, there's an A note, and we also have a really low A note available to us. Well, those are both pitches in our D major pentatonic. So, the lowest pitch that's available to us in our D major pentatonic is way down there, the A note, and that's scale degree number 5. But now that we're in land of finger numbers, we're just going to call that a 1. It's a 1. Right there, 1 on G. 1, 2 on G. Aha! That's a note in our pentatonic as well. It's scale degree 6. It's the note B. But in our finger number, it's 1, 2. And where are we going from there? O. 1, 2, O. 1, 2, O. Ding, 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 ding. 1, 2, O, 1, 2, O. Aha! Okay, so what's going on here? Because the violin is tuned in fifths, our fingers can just track along the same finger placements, and it will result in the pentatonic coming out. So, and the other nice part about this is you can start double stopping and make sure that your notes are really nice and tuned. So that sounds good. There you go, get that tuned up. That's an A note against a D note. 1, 2, O. And that's a B note against a D note, and that sounds nice as well. And there's 1, 2, O on the D string heading up to the A string. So just let's do a quick circle back on 1, 2, O, 1, 2, O. Let's review what scale degrees and what notes we're hitting, as well as the fingerings, because now we know the fingerings. The fingerings are easy. 1, 2, O, 1, 2, O. However, we have these different levels as well that are running in the background with our theory knowledge, okay? So there's our root note. 5, 6, 1 are the first 3 pitches. And then on from there, 1, 2, 3, 5. 5, 5, 5, 5. Aha! We've traversed an entire octave. We just didn't start on the root. We started lower than the root, and we didn't go all the way up to the root. We stopped before the root. So, 1, 2, O, 1, 2, O isn't it, in a sense, a scale itself, but it just doesn't begin on the root. So, A, B, D, E, F sharp, A. And we got a pentatonic scale, lower octave. And now we can extend this idea. And on the pair of strings, we're going to call that a low pair, even though we end up on an open. We're going to call those the lower strings anyway. On the higher strings, we get 013, 013. Aha! Another moniker, another repeated pattern. And we wind up with pentatonic D major higher octave. So all these tricks are a result of the fiddle being tuned in a parallel series of pitches. So parallel fifth, parallel fifth, parallel fifth. Right there, those notes, although they don't sound like the root, A and E are also pitches in the D major pentatonic. So we got D. Let's look at this a different lens. We're just going to hit the pitches of the pentatonic scale, but starting on the root. So D, E, F sharp, A, B, D, and we're home, right? But listen, I hit E, and I hit A. So that means our open A is obviously there, and open E is in there. Low A is in there. High A is in there. 310, 310. Why do I say O, not open? I say O because it's one syllable, like all the other numbers. O, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you're riffing in your mind, doing a visualization of 310, 310, 013, 013, you can say that in a rhythm, and you don't get stuck having to say open. The other substitute for that, sometimes you'll hear me just say the name of the string, because all the names of the strings also are one syllable, G, D, A, E. So I might say 3-1-E, 3-1-A, and that is just another thing that's baked into my mind. Okay, so great job following all that. That was the lesson part of today. And now we're going to do a playing example where we just stay strictly pure D major pentatonic throughout an entire fiddle tune. Now, the disclaimer here is that this fiddle tune is commonly played in a different key, but for our purpose today, I transposed it into D, and you can really track how just 1-2-0, 1-2-0, 1-3-0, 1-3 is everything I'm doing here. Just staying in a groove, and you'll find some passages, some different ways to use the pentatonic, such as why I call it the pentatonic, not the pentatonic scale. Off we go on Elk River Blues in D major. Hi, June. Come on out. Elk River Blues, D major. All right, hope you enjoy Elk River Blues. Have fun riffing on that. Riffing. Riffing. All right, bye everyone. Thanks for watching. See you again next week.